Hey YouTube, so this is Daddy-O's Reviews coming to you today with a review that has been a long time in the making. So what you see before you are three different American-made shell cordovan long wing Bluchers. On the left we have the Allen Edmonds Mcneal. In the center we have vintage Florsheim long wings. 93605 is their model number. And then on the right, we have the Alden, and these are their, what's called a 975, but it's their long wing Blucher in burgundy shell cordovan. So in this review, I'll compare and contrast the details that are the same, the details that are different from one manufacturer to the next. However, I want to state here at the beginning that the Florsheims, they don't make anymore. This particular pair, I've done a separate review on, but this was something I found on eBay in a new old stock condition. So, you know, there are going to be certain places where I think Florsheim is the better or perhaps the best of the three, but unfortunately they're not available anymore. So I'll make sure to note that a few times as we go through the review. So let's just start on the left. We have the Allen Edmonds Mcneal. So as I said, this is a long wing Blucher in burgundy shell cordovan. Basically, all three of these shoes are identical in style. So we have the eye stays sewn onto the upper. That means it's a Blucher. Long wing style, meaning that the wingtip broguing goes all the way around to the heel. Double oak leather soles. We have split reverse, or what's sometimes called storm welt. And actually, even the toe medallions are identical in style. What's different? Well, the manufacturer of the actual sole leather is different. Allen Edmonds uses J. Rendenbach, which is supposed to be the best, and I've done separate reviews on my pair. I can't argue that. I think these last extraordinarily well. They're also very comfortable. The Florsheims have actually a thicker, almost a triple leather sole, and the leather seems to be holding up pretty well. However, I find that it feels a little softer. I think that it's going to wear out more quickly than the Allen Edmonds sole leather. And the 975s on the right are actually the softest of all three as far as the sole leather. This is a pair that I pretty much wear these in casual settings, so with jeans or khakis or something like that. So I have not made an effort to maintain the sole edge in its original black color. I kind of like the worn off color that these are. But this actually feels the softest of all three to me. It's also, it's a what I would call a standard double oak thickness, as opposed to the Florsheims, which are actually thicker. So that's the first difference, is the actual sole leather. The second is the interior, the way that each of the manufacturers treated the interior of the shoe. And obviously this is the part that touches your foot, so this is very important. Allen Edmonds does not have any padding in the sole. It has what I would consider to be actually a pretty stiff piece of leather that's actually on the bottom of the inside of the shoe. As you can probably see, if I can get the angle correctly, it has significantly reinforced areas inside the shoe on both sides, and that actually makes it very comfortable for long days that you may have to wear these shoes. And then all of these shoes all are the same in that they have cork underneath this piece of leather. So in between the interior and the exterior soles of the shoe. The Florsheim has, I would say, a soft piece of leather. It's not actually padded, it doesn't feel like, but a soft piece of leather in the heel area, and then it is unlined on the sole of the shoe inside. As far as the interior lining, it's what I would call glove leather, but only up to a certain point. Unlike the Allen Edmonds, it doesn't go all the way to the forefoot, But these shoes are very comfortable, at least to me. I would not really change anything about the way that they used to manufacture those. Alden, so they actually have a padded heel. This particular pair has worn quite a bit, but it is padded and it feels nice. In addition to that, they have glove leather lining all the way to the forward and on the inside of the actual tongue. But again, as you get to where your forefoot would be inside the shoe, it is not lined. However, as I said, underneath this inner sole of the shoe, that's where you have the cork. So that's actually not a bad thing to have it not lined all that thickly, because that allows your shoe to form to your foot. That's what the cork does. So that's the interior of the shoe. Let's talk about the actual shape. So as you can probably see on the video, the order that I put them in, starting from the left, we have the most pointy from the toe perspective. So it's actually comes to a pretty sharp point for a shoe of this style. That's again the Allen Edmonds Mcneal. This is on the 7 last, and that's just the way that shoe is designed. In the middle is the vintage Florsheim, and I would actually say that's in the middle between what Allen Edmonds is doing and what Alden is doing. It's got a little bit of a point, but not anywhere near what Allen Edmonds does on their 7-lasted shoe. All the way to the right, we have the Berry Lasted 975 by Alden, and this is by far the least pointed, and it's also by far the widest at the ball of the foot. And I'll do a comparison right now of the Alden versus the Mcneal. The easiest way to tell the actual width, obviously you could measure it, but when you have both pair, what you can actually do is line up the soles of the shoe. And what you'll see, if you line up the inside right there, and you look at the outside, you'll see how much larger and wider the Alden is at the ball of the foot. It doesn't look like the heel is all that different, but the ball of the foot is actually quite a bit wider, and that's due to the Berry Last that Alden uses for these shoes. It also makes them very, very comfortable. My foot is right on the edge between normal width and wide width, and the Berry Last that Alden uses is very comfortable for me, and I think for anybody kind of in that normal width range of foot size, I think that you would find the same. Unfortunately, anytime you have a really wide looking forefoot, it also tends to look a little bit more casual. And so if you're thinking of buying these shoes to wear with suits, I actually would probably caution you against the Alden, because it looks like a casual, much more casual looking shoe than the Allen Edmonds does. And obviously the Florsheim's right in the middle, but unless you get lucky on eBay, you won't find those. As far as other things that might be different, we talked about the sole, but we didn't really talk about the heel. Allen Edmonds uses a dovetailed rubber heel with a leather, what's called a combination sole. I replaced these Florsheim heels. These were originally solid leather with a metal piece in the back here to help it for longevity of wear. These are rubber. That's just so I don't fall if you get onto slick surfaces, especially if it's wet. Alden basically does the same thing that Allen Edmonds does, where you have a combination of leather and rubber on the heel, and it's stacked. So there's multiple pieces of leather and rubber, which help with the comfort when you're walking. So I think that I've run through the major things that I wanted to as it relates to these 3 shoes. If I think anything else, I will do an updated video. Actually, you know what? I just thought of something else. Let's talk about the leather that they're all made of. They're all made of the same Horween No. 8 burgundy shell cordovan. The differences are that Allen Edmonds and Florsheim both really did not apply any kind of finishing to the leather. If you're unfamiliar with shell cordovan, you should know that it actually comes straight from the factory in a finished condition, and Horween spends a lot of time preparing that. So what Allen Edmonds and Florsheim, what Florsheim used to do, is they just basically took that leather direct from the factory, they formed it to make the upper of the shoe, and then they sewed the sole on without really treating it. Now, as I've done other videos on, as it relates to my shoe care regimen, I very rarely add any kind of polish. However, I do about twice a year treat them with kind of a leather conditioner kind of product, and it, quite frankly, it varies over time. Conversely, Alden actually adds, it's a lacquer-based conditioner as they are preparing their shoes. As a result of that, that comes from the factory in a very deep burgundy, almost eggplant color, and over time, that eggplant color wears off. And so I'm going to pick up the Aldens now and show you what this has turned into, and it's really a brownish, little bit of burgundy hue, but mostly dark brown, which is beautiful. So I actually really like having all three of them, quite frankly, because they all serve slightly different purposes, even though they are very, very similar shoes. If you have any questions, please post below. As I've said in my other videos, please subscribe. I plan to do a few videos like this probably each month. And if you have specific requests, I'm open to doing those as well. Actually, this video is in response to a request that one of my viewers made a little while ago. So, hope you have a great day, and thank you.